Welcome to the United States of Paranormal Podcast. Sit down and buckle up for an enlightening ride through everything cryptid, creepy, and paranormal.
Hello, all of my paranormal freaks out there. It is I, Golden Jay, hanging out with
the Rocker Chick
and
J-Dub.
And today we have very special guests.
Woo.
Go ahead, J-Dub. Tell us who is with us today.
Southern Indiana Paranormal.
Woo! Yep.
Amanda and Bethany, correct?
Bailey.
Bailey. Oh, I knew I was going to mess that up. I got notes and everything. Hold on.
I'm the one that messes up names. Come on.
Well, it is pretty much you. Yeah. Yeah. You're pretty much a screw up.
What can I say?
Oh man. Well, okay. I apologize, Bailey. I apologize. I blame J-Dub because that's what I do with my life. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. We're running a little behind because apparently I suck at technical stuff. So I'm so glad you guys could make it, and I'm super excited to hear some of your guys' stories because over the last few days I've been really kind of Facebook stalking you and looking at your TikTok and stuff like that. So I have some questions, but I just kind of want it to go with the flow, have fun, and I'm dying to hear some of your investigation stories. So if you don't mind, will you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Do you want to go first, Bailey?
Oh, okay. What do you want to know? My name is Bailey, and I've been friends, like me and Amanda have been best friends since, I believe, second grade.
Wow.
But we've known each other since kindergarten. Yeah. So, and we're in our early 30s. So now, we've known each other and been friends for a very long time. And this is something that we just kind of naturally fell into ourselves. But I don't know if you want to know about me or
I would love to know about you.
Okay.
The personal you.
The personal me. So I've got two girls. I've got an 11-year-old and a little over a year-old daughter also. And then I just love the outdoors, animals, crystals, all sorts of stuff. So,
Nice.
yeah, all the spooky.
And I'm Amanda. I also have two girls, but they are twins, not identical, thankfully. And they will be turning 2 next month. Other than the normal paranormal things that people are into, like the ghost hunting, I also enjoy crystals, and I've been dabbling a bit with tarot. I'm very into cryptids, aliens, UFOs.
No, we don't talk aliens.
Oh, J-Dub and her aliens. Anytime we can spook her and get her to run scared with aliens, it's definitely a must.
I totally agree. I am more scared of the concept of aliens than I am ghosts. 100%.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So what got you two into doing investigations, and what brought you to that?
Well, I mean, growing up and basically spending our whole lives friends, we were always kind of into more spooky things. We always liked to watch scary movies, and we lived in, a very rural part of Southern Indiana that's just fields and woods, and we would go explore those, and just loved being a little bit scared all the time.
Crap that we wouldn't do now as adults.
Yes.
Gotcha.
We're back and we're like, how were we not murdered? Or
Kidnapped.
Yes.
And then it was in 2019, I had a roommate in college who I'm still very good friends with. Her family are all paranormal investigators and have been basically their whole life. And they up in Warsaw, Indiana. They threw a paranormal convention in 2019, and me and Bailey drove the 6 hours up, and we met Grant Wilson and Dustin Perry and the Tennessee Wraith Chasers, Doogie and Porter.
Wow.
John Zaffis was there, and there were different mediums and vendors and all sorts of stuff. And then that night, we did a paranormal investigation of their old, I think it's pronounced Kosciuszko is the county.
Kosciuszko.
That's where we are.
We're actually in we're in Warsaw area.
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We'll have to chat later and see if you know my roommate's family.
Yeah.
But we did their old county jail
Mhm.
and did an investigation overnight, and we were in the solitary confinement cell with Porter from Tennessee Wraith Chasers. And we just went around with a voice recorder, and everyone asked the same question and we listened back to see if we got any responses. And the very last person that went, after he asked the question, there was this female just moaning scream that we did not hear in real time. And it was just something we had never experienced anything like that before, because we watched all the shows and everything, but there's always that question of how much of this is production magic,
Right.
and fishing for stuff. But after getting that, it really opened my eyes to those shows, like, oh man, this might all be real.
Mhm.
So on the way home from that, we talked
Nonstop.
about like, oh man, what if we actually did this for ourselves, and we could have like a whole YouTube channel about it and all this stuff. But nothing ever happened because COVID happened.
And then babies.
Yeah, and then we both and yeah, it was last fall, about a year ago, we finally got to a point where we were like, let's just go do this. Let's go. So we just got like some voice recorders and EMF and a spirit box or two, and just went to a cemetery and went to an old courthouse down here, and just got addicted to it.
Yep.
Very nice.
So let's bounce back. Did you know about that in Warsaw? Did you
Yeah.
go?
I did not go, but I knew about it.
You did?
My mom volunteers at the old jail. So she was like, oh, you should do this. And I'm like,
No, we probably
No
had-
way.
I should have.
My friend's mom is on the historical society for for Warsaw. Do you know the Praters?
The name rings a bell,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Marianne Prater.
Yeah.
is Her mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her daughter Lauren was my roommate in college.
Oh, okay. I know
Yeah.
of them. I don't know them.
Right. That's so funny. What a small world.
I know in this that's crazy because if you actually go check out their Facebook, it gives the town that they actually live in, which is Newburgh, and I Google mapped that, and you guys cannot get much farther south in Indiana than where you are, and I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Which explains the time difference that we have. We were just down not too far from you in Canton, what is it? Cannleton.
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hamilton's not far from here.
Yeah, me and Bobby went down there last year. We got a cabin and just enjoyed that area so much last year. So that's what I was scoping out when I was looking at all that stuff. But it's insane that when I was looking, I saw you guys have been to Warsaw, and I didn't know that was going on up there. Obviously, United States Paranormal hadn't really happened yet, so I wasn't really in tune with more of that, and I didn't know J-Dub at that time. She would have totally told me that we needed to go, but
Well, and there was another one that was going to happen, I think, in October in Fort Wayne, just 45 miles east of us, but they had to postpone it for some reason. But like Grant was going to be there, and a few other people. Was Chris going to be there?
yeah, Chris Williams was going to be there.
Williams was going to be there.
They postponed it,
Yeah.
so I still have a shot to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
So-
loves Chris. He loves Chris.
So yeah,
You know, I love Chris.
when I was when I saw your page, I was looking through it and I was like, oh my, they've been to Warsaw. So then I was like, they need to be on our podcast.
We want to go back up there to the jail and do an overnight
Mhm.
sometime, but we haven't had time to coordinate it yet.
Yeah. They do them because my mom was like, you want to do this with me? I'm like, do you have diapers?
Let me ask you this: is this something that we could coordinate all together, and we could actually do this?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. We would love that.
You've got my email. Keep me informed on what you guys do, and we'll work it out up here, and we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I think that'd be awesome.
That'd be so cool.
Although I'd be the only one crying like a little girl.
Diaper, you'll be all right.
I'd be fine. Now, you guys have actually been to one of my favorite places that we've talked about going to, but have never been.
Can't get you to man up and go.
When do I have time there, sweetheart?
You have plenty of time.
And that is Waverly Hill Sanatorium.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you guys got to tell me about some of your experiences, because I saw the pictures and I heard some of the EVPs, and it was your birthday gift, right?
Yeah, we went on my birthday. My birthday was that Saturday the 17th, and we stayed overnight into the 18th.
Nice.
It was the best birthday. We went to Cheesecake Factory beforehand. It was great.
So tell me about your experiences inside Waverly. I mean, everybody's a little bit different. So
You want to start?
Sure.
Yeah.
So with Waverly, I don't know. I'm on the fence because I like the instant gratification of like something happening right then, which I think is why one of my favorite tools is like, I love the motion censored cat balls. Like,
Yeah.
favorite. So you see it right then and you're like, hey, something's here, something's like interacting. But for me, it was more, we did have a lot of the cat ball interactions in certain areas. And then there was like gentle hair pulling but it's also really dark, and I'm more of the skeptic. So I will call it out and I'll be like, okay. And then I'll be like looking around because it was dark.
right.
And
Right.
I don't want you wandering around with flashlights on. So like, you don't want to ruin anybody else's experience with your lights on. So I'm like, okay, am I walking into something and things like that, which I wasn't. But so that was one thing. And then, yeah, we had a lot of the cat balls lighting up to some questions. And I wanted
To the point where we thought they were broken.
yes.
Like they would just go on and on and
Yes.
and respond to things, and they just wouldn't stop, but they
Yep.
wouldn't be like, rolling across the floor. They'd be stationary.
yes.
So something was vibrating them or making them go off, but
Mhm.
staying still. And we actually switched them out multiple times
Yes.
to make sure.
I actually held on to the one, but then we used it in a different spot and it wasn't going crazy. So I even said it, I think, in our video. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, this is the same cat ball like we used in the other room and it's not going crazy. So
Yeah.
and like I would touch it. I was like, it's not dead. Like new
Yeah.
batteries, but yes. So, but then we also like, do the EVP recordings and things like that.
We did a spirit box session
Yes.
where it's questionable, but I hear, and maybe it's only because I want to hear a voice say happy birthday to me after I ask. That was my whole goal the entire night. Either get a spirit box or get an EVP. And I think I got it. I'd like to think I got it. If people want to question it, that's fine. But that was one of my favorite things.
But it is definitely spooky vibes everywhere. Like
Yeah.
the place is just it is.
It's incredible.
The atmosphere is very
Even the drive up.
yes, it's very kind of heavy and like a little bit anxious feeling. Like I don't know, because I was excited. We were both very excited to be there.
Yeah.
And we even went down like the tunnel, the
body chute.
Body
yeah.
shoot.
We went all the way down there and hung out at the bottom of there, and we were the only ones in there for a while.
For like probably a good 5 or 10 minutes. We
Yeah.
were the only people in the body chute, and we were at the very bottom.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It was kind of scary.
It's very dark, very, very, very dark.
Yeah.
And we were in the morgue.
The
area
morgue was
for a
pretty
while.
cool.
Yeah.
And then I think my second favorite part was we were in, I think it was the room the cat ball was going nuts. I felt a tingle in my right shoulder. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to take a selfie. We'll see what happens. My flash wasn't on or anything. Like, it was just using the night mode camera on my iPhone. It's just a regular iPhone. And in the picture, and this is on our TikTok, you can kind of see what looks like all transparent black fingers on my shoulder leading up an arm. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I got hit by a shadow person.
And these pictures, for our listeners, they are on your Facebook.
Yes, they're on our Facebook, our Instagram, and our TikTok.
There you go. So you can go check them out. We'll get to all the goods on that towards the end of the interview, so everybody can go check those pages out when we're done talking. But from what I've seen, you guys have had a lot of luck catching EVPs and so on and so forth. But I gotta know, which parent's bathroom is haunted?
Oh, that's mine. Yeah, that's wild. So there's not really too much of a story that we know of behind that. The previous owner of their house, we do know, died in the house. He had like this sauna space on the second floor and died in there. He was an avid alcoholic. And that's its own thing. And they wanted me to see if I could contact him because my dad had been seeing and feeling things in his bedroom.
Okay.
So we tried that and got nothing. And then my mom asked me to try that bathroom because when they were doing a remodel, they found bloody tissues and a bloody shirt in the wall.
Oh.
So, and the tissue was like very neatly folded so that they don't know why. There's no answer to it. So I just went in there and just asked questions, and that's the one EVP I got. That's the only thing that happened. And I didn't even listen to it for months because I was like, I don't think anything happened. And then was going through old stuff one day and listened to it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I just got something.
You have to remind me, what was it just a yes, or I can't remember. Like I said, I watched so many.
I think I had asked, was that your bloody t-shirt in the wall? And it sounds to me like a female voice, but my mom thinks it's a male voice that just says yes. Right on.
So you guys will have to go check that out if you haven't already. I know you have.
I have.
Yeah. I know you have. The rocker chick is we need to get her on it to go watch all these.
I will.
So.
I will do that.
Hold on, you can catch up fast.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, okay, whose parents' house is haunted? I love that. So he did the jail. You've also done a courthouse basement, and that was oh crap. That was close to home too, right?
Yeah, that was in the county we grew up in Spencer County. My mom worked there before she retired, and her boss let us come in at night after closing, which was very, very nice of him. But it was just me, Bailey, and my mom, and we had done some research. There were 3 African American men who in 1900 who were chased down to the county over and brought back to the grounds that the courthouse is on now and lynched. Oh. So, and it's one of the only lynchings that is recorded in Indiana.
Right.
And so like the basement used to be where like the old jail cells were, and now it's just like for records and stuff. So we just started down there and asked questions, and those were the first EVPs I ever like listened to that we had gotten.
Yeah.
And I was just so excited. I about had a heart attack. It was so exciting. I wasn't scared at all, but I was just
freaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got you asked, if I remember right, you asked if that was the person that had been hung out front, and then did you not? And you got a yes,
Yeah.
and then did you not get a get out then at some point?
Yes. Yeah, we got to get out a little bit later when we asked. I forget what the question was, but yeah, the get out one was the first one that kind of scared me because it's just like low and menacing, and I was just like, something did not want us there, and I don't think that I like the idea of that, but yeah, that was a good one.
There was also the first place that we had like flashlight responses. Yes. We had very clear flashlight responses as well, with turning on for yes and turning off when we asked, and that was the first time we'd gotten that, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
Except I did ask if the person was guilty of their crime, and they said yes, and I was like, all right.
Oh,
I was like, well,
yeah, they're honest.
That's what I said. I was like, well, you're being honest.
Yeah, we had a whole conversation with that.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about the abandoned church. Is this where the backpack item happened?
Yes.
Now, I've watched that clip, I don't know, several times. I watched it over and over again. Walk me through what you guys seen in that video clip, and so I can go back and watch it again, because I was missing the movement of it.
So
we were just sitting there.
Yeah, we were sitting at the back of this church where like the altar and everything would be. And my backpack was sitting like maybe a foot or so away from me, and I had just recently, and I remember this from when it happened, I just recently like rustled around and it got some stuff out and set it back down. And at the time, it had like slowly started to fall over, and I heard it, but I thought it was something spooky. And I remember at the time turning and seeing that it had fallen, and I was like, oh, it's because I rummaged around in it, whatever. Right. And it like settled. And then after it settles, there's a black strap on the inside of the back where you can like strap in a laptop. It twists itself all of a sudden after the backpack is done falling forward. And it was Velcroed and everything. There was no, in my mind, there was no logical way it
like
should have
gravity twisting it. Like if anything, it would have just stayed where it was, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it like physically twisted. On that strap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% paranormal, but it's something I can't explain the movement of.
Right. Yeah, that'll give me some. I want to go back and watch that one again, because I watched it a few times, and I actually was looking for like, for it to like move up. But if you said a twist, that's probably what I missed. So it'll give me something to go back and check out.
Yeah, it's a strap on the inside that just twists. It's very subtle.
Right on. Yeah. Right on. Anything else happen in the church, or just the
church was a little disappointing for us because the vibe of it was just so heavy.
Yes.
We did have a conversation with someone with dowsing rods that I do have recorded, and I might edit down and post eventually, but we didn't, it's hard to see the dowsing rods on the camera, so you just kind of have to trust what I'm saying at the time.
Yeah. They also told us they didn't want to talk.
Yeah, they didn't want to talk to us.
They didn't want.
They answered like 3 or 4 questions, and then they were like, no.
Yep.
Right on. That happens more often than not, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So those are the kind of the highlights of what you guys have put on YouTube. Besides, did you get anything from Sarah Lincoln's gravesite?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about So we went to Sarah Lincoln's grave because we both grew up around Lincoln Park, and just to test things out, see if we could get responses. And this was very early on in our adventures, and we were sitting there trying to talk to people, and I had my dowsing rods out, and they kept going to my right. And so I reset them, and I was like, okay, should we go to the right? And they told me yes. So we went right, and we kind of followed it until it told us, and it stopped.
Yes.
And then we got out her pendulum and her pendulum board, and we said, we just asked it, okay, are we at the right marker? And it said no. And we said, okay, do we need to move right? It said no. Do we need to move left? Yes. So we moved left and we kept going with it and following that until we got to Nancy Grigsby, who was Sarah Lincoln's mother-in-law.
Oh,
And like, we were like, okay, well, we're here.
Yep.
You told us this is where we should be. Let's talk. So we asked several questions and had, our EVP or voice recorders going. We had cat balls on the grave and everything. And then we turned on Spirit Box and I asked her to say my name, and a female voice came back and said, Amanda.
Mhm.
And that's about the only thing we got.
Yep.
But it was one of the first
Yes.
very clear Spirit Box responses we had ever gotten, like almost right away after
Yes.
asking a question, and it answered, how it should have. So that was really cool for us to
Mhm.
kind of hear. And each time you find evidence from something, you just want to keep going.
right.
Right.
I will say that we've ran into the name Grigsby a
lot.
lot late, like after that. And
Yeah.
which I guess makes sense because they're all in the area, but it seems like every cemetery we have gone to, we have found at least like 2 or 3
Yes.
Grigsbys now. So
We're not sure of the connection yet, but
Yep.
it pops up a lot.
It sounds like it has a connection with Bigfoot and aliens, right, J-Dub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think it was cool that you guys have Abraham Lincoln's sister so close that is I don't know what is cool about that, but it's just cool. I saw it and I'm like, holy shit, really? All right.
Yeah, I think Mary Todd Lincoln is it Mary Todd his mom? Who's his mom?
Who's Nancy?
Nancy's Sarah's mother-in-law.
Okay. Hold on. Who's Nancy's
Well,
My history, okay? Because who is Nancy Hanks?
oh, Nancy Hanks, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, who is she?
Nancy Hanks is buried in Spencer County as well, and I think
Yes.
that's Lincoln's mom.
Yes. Right?
Yeah, I think that's her maiden name.
Right?
Don't look at me. I failed history twice. So
History was my least favorite subject. But I mean, we have a whole state park named after him. There's the Lincoln Boyhood Memorial. That's all about how he grew up in that area in Southern Indiana. And yeah, he was there at some point, but
yeah, putting a timeline on it and trying to figure out where he was to what he was in Illinois to
yeah,
I mean,
and
yeah,
Burials there. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it is his mother. Right.
yeah.
I was like, Nancy Hanks is his mother. And yeah, she is also, they've got her tombstone and everything in the state park. National. One of them.
Yeah, I think
One's
it's
a
somewhere.
national and one's a state on each side of the road. I don't know
Yeah.
which one's which.
They're literally just away.
Yep. I'm not sure which is which, but she is there also, but we've not made it
to her.
to her.
right on. Well, you guys got little kids. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it's gotta be challenging to try to get your adventures kind of set. And then, I know that when we talked about, you guys had to get a babysitter to come do that, so you were able to do this. And I so much appreciate you were able to find somebody and giving us the time to kind of hang out here. So thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, we appreciate you inviting us on. That's cool.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any questions? I mean, I still got questions. So, I mean,
I want to know, what was the scariest encounter that you guys have ever had? Like throughout your life. I mean, it can.
Oh man, throughout life,
Oh dear.
something that still kind of makes my body chill to this day. I was probably somewhere between the age of I want to say 11 to 14 maybe. And like I said, we grew up surrounded by woods, like dense forest, I'm talking. And one night I was in bed and I'd fallen asleep with my window open because we got this really lovely, nice, fresh air. And I woke up in the middle of the night and heard this woman just moan, this horrible, sad moan right outside my window, which, mind you, was up against my bed. I remember my body just completely covered in goosebumps. I broke out in a cold sweat and I could not move. And I still remember how that sounds to this day. And it's I can't explain it by an animal. I've tried. And like, it was literally just right outside my window. And I'm on, like, this was a second floor. This is not a real person outside of my window.
Right.
I told about this.
It was horrifying. I remember, like, as soon as I don't know how much time passed, but as soon as I could move any part of my body, I quickly rolled over, slammed my window shut, and jumped out of my bed to the other side of the room. And I was like, I don't know if I can be in here tonight. So that's still in my mind one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me, and I still can't explain it.
I don't have anything cool. So spotlight there. I was like, I don't have anything cool that I can think of, which then makes me all sad. I was like, I don't know.
The county jail lady didn't scare you?
Which one?
The EVP was.
Well, yeah, she was creepy.
That was scary.
Creepy. I don't know. I think the first. I think probably the first time. So the first time we went to the old county jail in Warsaw was not that night with like the investigators and stuff. We actually went a year or two before that.
Mhm.
And that was my first time ever doing anything like that. So I try to reason everything away. I am that person, the skeptic one that'll be like, Amanda gets hyped up and then I'm like, well, I don't know. But we were in the basement where all the jail cells are and everything, or
The first floor.
the bullpen.
Yeah,
We were in the bullpen. And so that was the first time I had ever seen like actual shadows like moving around and things like that. And that sticks with me because I remember like internally freaking out, but I wasn't letting it like externally show because I didn't want to feel crazy. And now we get really excited about it. But I was like, I didn't say anything, and like I saw like it pass by like twice. And it went behind Amanda.
I had no idea this was happening.
Yes. So I saw that, but it was funny because later in the car ride, I finally was like, so did you see anything weird? And she was like, maybe. What did you see? So I was like, well, I think I saw like a very shadowy, like it looked like a person's shadow walking like behind you and into one of the cells. And then she was like, oh my God, I saw the same thing like on the other side of me go into the cell. And I was like, oh, validation.
And we both felt our hair being touched.
Yes. And we felt our hair being touched there
Yeah.
and things like that. And I think it wasn't scary per se, but it was the first time that I experienced anything really to the point like that I couldn't explain it away really. And so that always stuck with me, but otherwise I've had like real life scary encounters.
Yeah.
Like I lived in the woods, like woods all around.
She's the true crime half.
I am.
Mhm.
And then scariest thing is being out when it's dark out and there's nothing but woods and cornfields around you and
You hear
bobcats.
leaves.
No, I'm talking about I heard a bobcat scream and I was convinced that a woman was being murdered in the woods, and I went and got my dad and was freaking out, and he's like, that's a bobcat. And I was like, what? And sure enough, a quick Google later, and they sound terrifying. But I was convinced somebody was being murdered in our woods on my family property, so that was cool.
Well,
yeah.
unfortunately, me and the rocker chick are kind of in the same category. We've never had anything major happen to us. J-Dub's in a category all of her own. You can go back. What episode is that? If you go back into the United States Paranormal, and I can't remember what the episode number is, but we did a full interview with her on living in a haunted house for 7 years and fresh out of high school.
Yeah, a lot happened in that house.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to that.
Yeah, we're on an episode of a haunting.
Oh, no way.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been watching my way through that. I bet I haven't gotten to it yet. I'm gonna have to look.
It's like season 8, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm nowhere near season 8 right now. I'm in like season 2, so
What
You'll
was
get
it? Was it called Eternal Grief?
Yeah, but Well, every time like they redo reruns, it changes.
Oh, fair enough.
But yeah, it was Eternal Grief. Yeah.
Yeah. Our little celebrity over here.
Here, I'll see what.
Well, you look that
episode.
up. I'm going to move on to the next question.
Yeah.
I guess so you've done all these investigations so far. 2019 was kind of your guys' kickoff to start the Southern Indiana Paranormal Society, right? Now, do you have members, or is the society just kind of you guys? That's perfect. I just was curious.
We'll take more members, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, for now it's just us.
Right on. So what is next for you guys? What's the plan for the future? Where are you guys heading to?
Oof.
Okay.
There's a list.
All right. Top of mind.
Yeah,
Top of mind, I want to go to Whispers Estates in Mitchell, Indiana. That is somewhere that I want to go. It's just once again with the kids and work schedules, like trying to find the perfect timing to go, and then like obviously like everybody wants to go when it's spooky season.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we to go when it's not spooky season. so we want to go when it's not going to be crazy trying to get a time that we can get in. And then I'm blanking. What is the place in Franklin? So like you said, we're very, very far
in Kentucky.
Yes, we are like at the very end of Indiana and like just a hop skip over the river.
We can walk to the river from my house.
Yes, and then just go across the river and we're in Kentucky. So,
Right.
And then the other way we're in Illinois. So
Yeah.
like we've got all these options. So we're only like an hour and a half from Is it Franklin or Frankfurt?
I think it's Franklin, Octagon Hall.
Yes. In Kentucky.
Yeah, we really want to go there. We recently met another paranormal group.
Just by chance.
Just by chance at a random store. They had a Waverly shirt on, and we started up a conversation, and they said that they've been going for like 20 or 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And they go to Octagon Hall a lot because they always get something, they said, and it's like fairly reasonably priced compared to other places.
Yes.
So we really want to go down there, and they told us they'd contact us the next time they go.
Yep.
Nice.
It's only about an hour and a half away, so it's like driving to Waverly.
Yep.
So,
Right.
And we would always love to go back to Waverly.
Yes.
That's always one.
If we could ever do a private investigation of
Oh.
Waverly, that'd be the dream, but it's
Probably won't happen, but
yeah, it'd be a long way down the road.
But it could.
What is do they do private ones? Is it super expensive? Is that it?
Yeah.
I was thinking it was, but it's been a minute since I covered Waverly, so I know that I thought they did. Anyway, have you guys thought about Willow's Weep, or I'm trying to think of a couple other ones. I just did a whole episode on like haunted Indiana. I did like 5 haunted places. Whispers Estate was one of them.
Yeah.
Hell's Gate was another one.
Yeah.
The Edna.
Did you do a cemetery?
Yeah, that was in
sure.
Crown Point, the
Yeah.
Crown Point Cemetery. Of course, Crown Hill Cemetery down in Indianapolis.
Uh-huh.
That would I've heard there's a lot of good EVPs that come out of there.
Yeah, you mentioned French Lick on that episode too in West Baden. We'd love to go there, but I don't know that they really allow that.
You gotta sneak it in.
Yeah, we'll have to get a hotel room and
Yeah.
just
And then
stay.
just wander around and be like, what? I ain't doing nothing. Just go about your business.
Yeah, we're not doing anything. Don't mind the radio.
That is an amazing hotel. I've been there. We were just passing through, but man, that is a gorgeous hotel.
Yeah, we've been there a few times
I was
ourselves,
gonna say,
just in
yes.
personal life.
Personal life, I've
Yeah.
stayed several times. But
Yeah, that would be a really, really good one to hit. A local one we have that is kind of a white whale is Willard Library in Evansville, which is just the city over.
Mhm.
And they have a gray lady ghost that is said to haunt the library. And I mean, there's been reports of her since the early 1900s or
yeah,
1800s.
I think so.
And
And they still have random activity that they
Yeah.
catch, and
there's still activity. They do ghost tours during October every year for like 3 days. That's a ticketed event, but they don't allow private investigations. They allow one a year, and the wait list is 10 years long.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So-
I can imagine.
So we gotta get on that list.
Technically, you can go during business hours, but
Yeah.
you cannot like be disturbing people because it is a library. But
Yeah, but you
yeah.
should look into that one because they have activity to the point where in 1999 or 98, somewhere in the late 90s, they made a website of live streaming cameras from several places in the library, and it's still active to this day. So you can go on and look at the cameras at all hours of day and night and just like watch for activity. And I actually caught something a couple months ago. It was like 9 or 10 p.m., so well after closing, and a chair on the second floor had been pushed out. And the staff, and I know some of the staff there, always push all chairs in the building back in, and this chair was out. And then I posted about it on this like chat group that watches the cameras and reports stuff. And then in the morning, someone checked it, and it was already back in before open.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they say that happens a lot. Like a chair will push itself out, and they'll either find it in the morning or they look back at cameras and it goes in and out by itself.
Well, that's an amazing idea for something like that. Just set up cameras and let people just kind of watch through live stream.
It's very fascinating. If you just Google like Willard Library ghost cams, you'll find it. I go on it still every once in a while. It's a lot of fun to look at.
Yeah, I totally can be. Oh, you know what J-Dub's doing the rest of her night? Not watching Aliens.
No.
So tell me a little bit about, hold on, I got it written down here. Cooper's Crystals.
That is me. So I've always been into crystals and rocks and things like that. Like ever since I was little bitty, my dad would take us like in the fields and things when they would plow the fields for farming, and we would find arrowheads and like broken pottery, things like that from the Native Americans in the area. Like there were a lot, like where my family lives, like my family has about 100 acres. And so we would go around there and find all sorts of things. I also know that there's unmarked graves somewhere. I've been trying to find that on my family's land from like way back when. But so like I've always liked rocks.
Right on.
Yeah, so I decided to start my own little business. So I started Cooper's Crystals myself, where I sell crystals and I do like intuitive boxes. I am really horrible at actually doing it.
It's horrible with her online presence.
I am horrible. I enjoy watching. That's why Amanda handles like ours.
Yeah, I do all of our social media stuff.
I'm awful with it. And then, I don't know how she does it. I was going to say, because I've only got one that's young and she's running around everywhere and I can't get anything done. So, but I like try to very fairly price them. Like there are local crystal shops that I went into just to like look around, and I felt a lot better about myself, like how like honestly pricing and things like that. But it's just something that I've always loved and been interested in. And so I just decided to do it, and it's just out of my house and I do it online. And then I try to be trendy, which makes me feel old as heck. So I just recently got a little cauldron, and I'm going to do like the cauldron scoops and the little capsule scoops and things like that.
That's big on TikTok right now.
Yeah.
Putting that together. So yeah, but I appreciate that.
Well, listeners, go check it out. It is cooperscrystals.com. Go check it out.
Do it.
If you love a mystery box and you love crystals and witchy things, you got to do it.
Yeah.
You're doing a mystery box?
I do have, an intuitive mystery box. I love them.
You realize that your daughter would absolutely flip shit over that. Yeah. You know that. All right. Well, we will get that. She has a birthday coming up in November, so I will make sure that that is on my top of my list to get ordered for her birthday.
Yeah,
She will love it.
Very fairly priced. I am not. I had a heart attack walking into a crystal shop, and I'm like, oh my god, they're charging this much. I was like, mine is like,
It's crazy.
more
Some
than
of these local
mine
places.
was like half the price, if not more, of some of the things. I was like, and I was worried of like pricing too high. Like,
Right. I
Yeah.
know the feeling. When we did our merch store, I'm like, are we pricing too high? Are we pricing too high?
yep.
Yeah, for sure. Ladies, do you have any questions? Any more questions?
No, you took mine about what they were going to look for in the future.
Oh,
So you took mine, so I'm sorry.
It was episode 20 on our podcast. It was me. Episode 20. No. So do you go to like people's houses and try to help them? And like, what is your like with mine, the people came in, they were like, we got all these EVPs, and they're like, oh, you got to live with him. You got to live together. No, like sage or no trying to communicate with these people. Just, oh, you got to live with them. Do you guys go and help people and like do sage or anything like that kind of stuff? Or
We would be willing to. We actually had
Yeah.
somebody reach out at one point, but then they backed out
Mhm.
of having us actually come, which could be like multitude of reasons.
Yeah.
But we have gone to like friends' houses who have asked us because they've noticed activity. Like,
Yeah.
you can go.
Yeah.
You-
One of my
his
husband's
friend.
yeah, one of my husband's best friends. The house he lives in has been owned by his family since 1902.
oh wow.
Over in Tell City, Indiana, which is near Cannleton.
Yep,
Right.
we went through Tell. Yeah.
Yeah, and he sees like a shadow person walk across his kitchen sometimes when he's sitting in the living room. He will hear things sometimes, and like he's never felt scared or anything, but he just, once we started stuff, he was like, well, hey, you'll have to come check it out. So we went and checked it out, and that one of our TikToks is actually from his house, where we have a cat ball stationary on a table, and it's been sitting there for several minutes, and she visibly catches it roll on its own, and it didn't light up when it rolled.
Yep.
It just rolls.
Yep.
And she caught it with her eyes and on camera.
Did
So that
we
was-
get a response on didn't we confirm that it was family or something?
Yeah, I
Or-
think we were asking if it
Was it
was
the
family
spirit
members,
box?
because several of them that owned it died in it. And I think they did confirm at one point it was family, but other than that and the ball, we didn't get much.
Mhm.
But he wasn't active or like a participant in this. So I think he wanted us to do it just for, kind of fun.
Right.
But he didn't really care if anything got cleansed or,
Yeah.
if we told him whether it was, malevolent or just there for fun. But I mean, we are very open to taking house calls. If people want things cleansed, we can tell people how to cleanse them
Mhm.
if they want. And we can do that based off whatever religion or beliefs they have. It's pretty universal. Every religion or belief has some way of communicating or cleansing or some sort of ritual to clearing bad energy.
Right.
And if we don't feel comfortable doing it, we'll help them find somebody who
Yeah.
can. So
Well,
Yeah,
that'll lead me into my final question. Do you guys take precautions when you leave a place? Do you cleanse yourself? Is that something that that you have put into practice? Or I've talked to other paranormal investigators that said they don't worry about things like that. They don't do it. Is that something that you guys consider doing? Or
I have made us little like protection crystal satchels with like herbs and crystals and things that we keep on us or like in our bags and things like that with us. And then as well as normally we don't sage afterwards unless like
Unless we
not
feel
really
really
I was gonna say we haven't felt the need to, but also we try, which we don't always succeed, to when we're in a space, like when we're leaving, we will tell them like, hey, we're going to go.
You can't come with
Yes, you
us.
cannot come with us. We appreciate you like talking to us and things like that. And we make sure we say like, peace out, like you're not coming, but like,
Yeah.
nice chat, but you're not coming with us. But we're not the best at remembering to do that all the time. So
We know we did it when we left Waverly.
we did, yes.
You don't want to bring Timmy home with you?
No.
No, they don't.
Guys, anything else? All right. Well, why don't you tell us about your social media? Give us all your addresses and all that good stuff for our listeners to be able to go and check out your Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah, sure. I think pretty much if you search SIPS, SIPS, or Southern Indiana Paranormal Society, you can find us pretty much pretty easily on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I think are the three that we have.
And then technically Cooper's Crystals also has a Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and then cooperscrystals.com. But like I said, I'm not as good on social. I'm on TikTok, but it's working on it. It's a work in progress. But yeah.
Well, I will try to make sure I have all that information in the show notes when this episode comes out, so that it's just a hot click away and be able to go to all of those places, whether it be for SIPs or for Cooper's Crystals. But we'll make sure we get both of those in there. Other than that, I think I don't have any more questions. How about you guys? I'm looking over laptops and monitors and I want to thank you guys so very much for taking the time out of your a week and coming and hanging out with us. And what are you showing off there?
Cooper's Crystals. She's over here buying stuff.
I'm looking.
We all need like protection bags. Do you make protection bags for everybody so that when she drags my ass out somewhere, I can be protected? Okay.
I sure can.
All right. I'm all over it. I'm gonna need some sort of protection because she's gonna drag me to the gates of hell. But yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the day out of the week and you know, getting somebody to watch the kids so you can come on here and hang out with us and our little lonely old podcast. We so much appreciate it.
Yeah, we really do.
Thank you guys so much for having us.
Yes, we love it.
Well, hopefully we can hook up when you guys come back up to Warsaw and do the jail, and we'll definitely go do that with you. As long as I have my little pouch, that's all I can say.
Yeah. We'll bring it in.
Yep, we can bring it.
All right. Well, everybody remember next week starts Vamptober. That's right. Go check out United States Paranormal merch page for all of your Vamptober merch. I'm telling you, this shit is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is.
J-Dub's buying one of everything. She's going to put me through college.
Crazy.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys soon. I hope we can do this again. I love this. This was awesome.
Definitely. Anytime.
Yep.
All right. All right. Keep it spooky. And I'll see you on the other side.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the United States of Paranormal. Check us out at theunitedstatesofparanormal.com or at any other of our social media pages. At Twitter at TOSOPPOD, at Instagram at the United States of Paranormal, or Facebook at the United States of Paranormal, or YouTube at the United States of Paranormal 1795.
Please check out our other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Entertainment Network. The Call Guys, Golden Image Podcast, Indiana Chiefs Fans, The Golden 80s, Murd Nerds, and A Quart of Books and Booze.
And if you have a location you would like us to check into or a creepy story that you would love to tell us, please email us at theunitedstatesofparanormal@gmail.com. Please like, rate, and subscribe wherever you listen.